All right, so hey everyone, so today is day 14. Um, I was just looking at kind of like how the video performed and like the last ones that I've uploaded, and I've noticed that there's quite an interest in the philosophical frameworks that billionaires slash accomplished people use. And I thought maybe I make a small series around that because I am familiar only with certain ideologies in Silicon Valley, where, we have the most powerful companies coming up because I've read certain works. Um, and I do want to read certain works that fit the category of like learning more about the ideologies. And I think one ideology that we all should be knowing is the Dark Enlightenment. Now, probably you don't know what it is unless you've been like following. I think the New York Times have written an article about it, but I'm not quite sure. So the Dark Enlightenment is a contrary movement to what we currently have. So it's anti-democratic. It goes against kind of like the social welfare systems. It goes against, I'd even say again, it goes even against being or having the freedom to be an individual. But again, I haven't read all the works to say confidently that this is the case. But I think the main message from what I've been reading is essentially that the dark enlightenment is used. Um, it's kind of like an explanation on why certain tech billionaires are getting involved in politics, specifically in the US, where they want to run the country like a corporation. Because the end goal of Dark Enlightenment is essentially to have a CEO in charge of the president and treat the country like a company. So make it cost efficient. That means retire all government employees. That is one of the theories that I found by, let me look up the name. I think his name is Curtis Yarvin. Yeah, so his name is Curtis Yarvin, kind of like the establisher of the Dark Enlightenment. And he has this theory where he's like, we need to retire all government employees because they're so expensive, which is true. So this is kind of like one of the key points. Keep in mind, if you run a country like a corporation, you will be cutting off people essentially because that's what will make it cheaper. Apart from that, you also try to be a monopoly, right? Because this position gives you the best possible moves in any economical way. You get to innovate as slow and as fast as you want. You get to set prices, you get to set products. No one can really argue with you. And I think in terms of imagining the US being run like a corporation, you'd assume that they want to gain dominance on AI, for instance, on biotech, on the most dominant technologies that we will be producing. Well, not we, because Europe's falling behind, but the US, and it's a race between the US and China, like that's it. Um, and I mean, if you look at the US currently, you eliminated SNAP, you eliminated um, healthcare benefits for 40 million Americans, somewhere around that. You eliminated public money for schools. You took away research grants. You took away probably grants for like cultural events at some point. Like, I'm not quite sure. I didn't look that up, but I'm assuming they did that as well. And that's what essentially the Dark Enlightenment is. It's pushing you to be so cost efficient while trying to be innovative to a sense to dominate at least your hemisphere. Um, and so the thing is, if you have a corporation, you also have a board of advisors or other C-level executives. And that's where the billionaires come in because none of the billionaires are American. I think, right? Peter Thiel was born in Germany. There's no way he can be president. Elon Musk was born in South Africa again. Um, well, sure, Donald Trump. was American, but that was lucky or coincidence. Apart from that, I don't even know all the billionaires who are getting involved in politics. So I can't really tell you which ones have a shot and which not. But I hope you get the idea. Anyways, exploring the dark enlightenment is a helpful tool for billionaires or certain people to say, well, I want to get involved into politics because I did certain things in my past that have made me successful. So why would I not try to do it with the government? Which is to a certain extent plausible, but again, apart from that, to certain people with a critical mind, you might say, well, you're kind of lacking experience in the political department. But again, I'm not initiating this debate. Yeah, but I thought I'd just give you a glimpse of one of the ideas that people in Silicon Valley take seriously, which is the dark enlightenment, which I try to explain. The most important works and books I think you need to read are written by Yarvis Curtin. Um, he also has a lot of posts. I think he wrote maybe on Medium or Substack, which were done, or like which then afterwards were produced in a book. Like you can read his posts and do not buy the book if you want to. Otherwise, there are a lot of talks. I think he gave a very important talk at Oxford where he simplifies the whole breakdown of what he imagines what might happen under techno-capitalism. So if I find the video, I'll link it. Otherwise, just read what he wrote. It, to be fair, it's kind of interesting to see, where we might be heading under the current developments. Um, but I don't think I want to see that. Like, no. Anyways, that's it for today. All about Dark Enlightenment, about Yarvis Curtin. And surprisingly, not a lot of people know him actually. So if you know him, congrats. You might be one of few. Bye.